Gravy for the bears, gravy for the hungry bears, gravy for the bears, gravy for the bears, gravy for the bears, gravy for the hungry bears. You would understand if you love anything the way bears love gravy.
Ain't too bad.
Nice. That was great. All right, hi bears. Got another short one for you. Let me start off by saying this morning I was talking to Blaze about doing a video called What is Gravy? And in Blaze, he said, I don't know if I want to be in these videos anymore. And I said, I kind of understand. And I absolutely do. And then we had a long running conversation about it all day. And I think I offended him a little bit. And I apologize for that. And anybody who's watching these videos is knowing that I'm coming at him really hard
I'm just,
about this.
I don't
Babylon
mind
stuff.
you offending me as long as you don't get pissed off also. And
Well, see, I
Just-
think a couple times today he tried to provoke me, but
so yeah,
I'm not easily offended.
That's his excuse.
I know.
And that's cool. Whatever makes you cook, man.
But ultimately,
I'm
I
doing
just,
the same thing.
however well or unwell I'm doing this, it's because I do think that when you know about Bertaria, your one dilemma in life becomes accepting it or rejecting it. And that's all the problem you're going to have in life. And I had to hit the squirting thing really hard right off the bat, and because that's the most major part of getting out of Babylon.
Yeah, Colin just.
But we talked about this. I've never had anybody
It's hard.
intellectually above me to provoke me.
It's hard for Colin to understand sometimes. Me, like a person being in Bertaria without having to talk about the same ideas and just having their own independent Bertaria away from everyone else. It feels like it has to be a group, and maybe, yeah, it does maybe, but I feel
Well,
like you can be outside of Babylon and outside Bertaria, and you could say that's against Bertaria, but I say that it is Bertaria when you're on your own.
And I would agree if you're living in the
Without
submission to
squirting so
God.
much?
Yeah, you are. You're in Bertaria, for sure.
Yeah, just different definitions of God. Yeah, that's. Yeah, well, he thinks it's this man God.
That does provoke me, and I don't want to tackle it right now. But ultimately, you guys have to. I hope you appreciate Blaze
There's one God,
doing this, and
and it's not this guy with a mustache and a big beard telling everybody everything. It's much bigger than that. God's bigger than that guy.
but what guy are you talking about?
The biggest guy, the guy that's everywhere.
Are you talking about the comic book materialist Christian version of God?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You seem to be advocating for that guy a lot, and I'm talking about. See, I think we're just in miscommunication a lot of times.
I know, which brings up the subject. What is gravy? Gravy is like, there are lots of things in life that are going to gratify some sense or sensibility, but gravy satisfies the soul. And it's you become addicted to it, just like you become, whenever you become a Christian, you become addicted to a better relationship with God. And even if you're not a Christian, how would you define gravy? What's the most? Do you understand that when people are searching through content on the internet, and they're lost in life, and they're looking for anything that's going to resonate or make sense and soothe their existential angst. And ultimately, that's what Gravy is. There's just a lot of things that seem like gravy. But Blaze, what would you say the best gravy you've had? It's a great song. Best gravy you've had in the recent months, just as far as something that you experienced, some kind of information that resonated with your soul and made you feel more at peace with God and the universe.
Man, the Cool Breeze is some of the best gravy I've ever had.
That's good. I can dig it.
There's a lot of different gravy.
Let me put it this way. We watched an episode of probably reading some E. Michael Jones about Wagner. That's been some good gravy. We watched an episode of Midnight Gospel, which is a weird, if anybody knows about it, it's a weird, way out there, Duncan Trussell, Joe Rogan gang, very existential, like as far out into the relative multiverses you can go in entertainment. Wouldn't you agree? And we watched this episode. It was
in
about
mainstream media, yes.
It was about Hinduism, but it was the philosophy of Hinduism put very beautifully and comically into a 20-minute episode. And to a non-Christian, I can see them. Even I found it soothing because it was showing you a way to look at the ultimate struggle and chaos and suffering of life.
Yeah, it's more of like a metaphor.
It drew this logical path to where ultimately it's like you have to reject the thing that you think the self is.
So yeah, it's the episode where they're
Which
stuck
is
in a prison.
it's a true philosophy.
And they use the prison metaphor too.
But if you stop there, you do have to. It's like Hinduism understands that you have to submit yourself completely. You have to be born again, as it were, in some sense.
I don't think it's advocating for Hinduism, it's advocating for the metaphor that presents.
You mean the show? I mean, probably. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying the best advocation of Hinduism, me coming from a fundamental perspective, is that it does preach the ultimate immateriality of all things, even your ideas of yourself. And it preaches this, that there's peace here, but there's not. This is a complete evacuation unless you submit to God. Like Hinduism is just admitting your ultimate inability to know and finding peace there. Whereas Christianity is admitting your inability to regenerate yourself, to satisfy yourself, to be happy without a relationship with God. And everything else follows from there. But the thing about gravy is the more lost in life you become, the more desperate your search for gravy becomes, for anything that'll soothe the pain. But then the more desperate you are, the more it slips through your fingers. Whereas it's about tuning your heart into the gravy channel by purifying your lifestyle and your mind and your thoughts, your whole, all your activity. And this literally tunes your brain and your heart and your soul into receiving the gravy that you can find anywhere. And if you're finding it in the breeze, that's a good sign, I think.
Yeah. And bears, I'm here to learn about being a bear. Like I wouldn't even consider myself a bear yet, but I consider myself a reporter right now. Like, and I want to experience this. This is my brother, and I want to hang out with him, and I want to be a part of this and see what he's into. I want to push and encourage whatever he's going into.
Just have a good relationship while we're living and working together.
Yeah, and that's what a big part of this is. And so like, but I consider this more his channel, and because he's got this put up, and he's
Which
talking about a
is
bear. It's the
true.
the market is for the bears, and so. And
But
like,
as much as I consider Beartaria the only
yeah,
subject, the only project anybody should be gainfully employed in.
yeah, I just don't. I just have a problem with conforming and making it my. He's wanting to put these videos out every day, which I didn't know it was the plan until just recently, and that's the reason why I was saying that I think he should do just videos by himself also, and I'll chime in whenever I want
Which
to.
makes sense, and I'm completely okay with that. And
But like it, you know, he started off this video talk like kind of dissing me a little bit about that, and it was because he got upset and he didn't want to blame himself, so he put the blame on me for not accepting that. And I'm just wanting to,
there might have been
work
some
through-
transference going on.
you know, work through that a little bit. I don't know. I just want to, I don't know. I want to let him know that I'm going to diss him back if he disses me. And I don't think that's always the healthiest relationship, but
And I want to let him know
I'm-
he can't diss me. I mean, he can try his hardest in every way.
yeah. Well, I want to make you more confused than if there's anything else.
Okay, so you see that.
Yeah, no,
It's a
I
dangerous
knew
project.
what I was doing.
But
Because
I know what I was doing.
I'm trying to bring him into the
He's
woods.
trying to be back to reality. This crazy bear stuff, man, off the reservation.
I want to push him into the woods.
To lose your politically correct car.
I don't want him to.
Push me into the woods like.
That's why I'm learning about the bears, just to make sure that you guys aren't
a
pushing.
cult.
No, cults are fine. I just want to make sure that you aren't. Freedom's a weird word, and I just want to make sure bears are free, because you throw the word freedom around, and y'all I believe think that y'all are as free as they come. And as far as censorship, that's one form of freedom, and yeah, that's great. But there's more freedom than just censorship.
But there's no freedom outside of submission to God.
And yeah, so that's why I'm just here to kind of analyze these things, because yeah, I wanna test them.
And we're on a good path.
And confusing someone is a test also.
And he
that can
appreciates gravy.
and that can encourage.
And that's why I have faith that he is a bear.
That can
in
bring
his heart.
more firmness to his belief and his submission to God. So we're just seeing where this goes.
Iron sharpens.
Or I'm seeing where this goes. Colin might already know where it all goes and sees the future.
Sometimes time does not seem so linear.
But my gravy is the push and pull of collaboration and solitude. Collaboration between conversation.
And I would
being
like him
yourself.
to take over sometimes and be like, we're going to do a video of this song, or we're going to do a skit.
Yeah, and so
Whenever he feels inspired.
I consider myself the drummer guy on Letterman or whatever. Yeah, like I'm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, what if we started doing it like a
talk?
talk show and you sat at the drums and
Yeah,
we just had two cameras going, we cut between us.
We'll figure it out, because like it's this weird thing where it's like sometimes seems to be it's like I'm a guest, but like I'm a guest every episode, and so that's blurring the line between co-host and guest.
I know.
And I'm cool with whatever it wants to be, but I just want us to figure out a good rhythm for it.
Yeah, and that's
kind of what I wanted you to have some episodes by yourself, just so it encourages you as it makes me not pure co-host, you know.
yeah. And I know that there's just some mental trepidation with me because being like, it really is easier to sit down and have a conversation with another person next to you. For me right now, than to just talk directly to the camera.
No,
But I can learn.
I get that, and that's part of the reason why I'm here too, is just to make sure that you're feeling good.
Well, good. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
One more thing I wanted to address on this video was Big City Bear asked in his comment what kind of adventures we were going to go on. Well, I mean, I think it should be fairly obvious that we're in the middle of the greatest adventure ever. And it's just a matter of participation or sitting out and waiting for the game to come to you. But why are we fighting for Bertaria? Because we're here, boy. That's what it boils down to. Gotta fight for something. Well, literally, like, yeah, it's like, why were we born in the middle of Babylon under this commerce relative system? It's literally like real civilization. We've been watching Gone with the Wind. We're gonna do a video about that. But it really is like Bertaria has never been erased. It survived in little pockets. There's always been a remnant of Bertaria and Tartaria. But
Yeah, that'll be a good episode about cancel culture. The Gone with the Wind episode. Because there's just so many different levels to dissect in cancel culture. We'll get into that more.
yeah, forgot where I was going with.
There's one big level, and then there's lots of little levels underneath that big level.
Yeah. So, Bears, keep crushing. We love you, and we'll talk to you soon.